Hi, Desiree. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for this beautiful book, too, which we can read about all the way from your childhood to today. So, before we start, can you kindly just a little bit introduce about your background first and what inspired you to write your beautiful story?
Okay, so first, hi Jane. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm really thankful to talk with you. I consider today that I am in Jamaica and you are in South Korea, and yet we are having this engagement. So, what inspired me to write this story? Of course, in the book, I stated that a friend of mine, had been telling me that Desreen, you need to write your story, you need to share your story. But I did not feel confident in sharing the story until I was convinced that it would inspire other people to look beyond their current circumstances and to see that if they start, if they tried, then opportunities would find them. There were people who were there waiting to assist them, to help them to be the best that they can be. And so it doesn't matter our circumstances. Yes, sometimes it's challenging, but if we find something, let's say it could be a skill, mine was education, but for another person, it could be a skill. And so if you start pursuing that, doors and opportunities will open. And I just wanted to encourage people right around the world. So that is why I'm so excited about this because I wanted to inspire people around the world to pursue their dreams.
Wow. That is a very, very impressive introductory story already. Yes, in this book, you specifically mentions how you really envisioned from your side to really inspire all the people around the globe and to be somebody and everything else. So I really want people to, be shared your story. It is indeed inspiring. So I want to go back to the event of 1996, if that's okay with
Mhm.
you. It is briefly mentioned at the beginning of your book, and it is sort of it is explained to be one of the events
Mhm.
where your whole brave journey of separating yourself from the crowd and
Mhm.
standing out and building a unique legacy. Your firm name right now is Legacy HRM, by the
That
way.
is correct.
Yes. So there was something that happened to
Mhm.
make you decide that you will be building a unique legacy of yours to impact the world, really, right? So,
Yes,
how did you get to make this assertion of never again for yourself? Can you explain for our viewers?
I will do so. So, one of the things that happen to many people is that you will find yourself in a really good job with a good firm and you get settled. You do not seek to develop yourself, you do not seek to further your education, you do not think about additional competencies outside of what you're doing. And so, what happened to me in 1996 was I had a job that I thought I would have for the rest of my life. And so, having left high school, I did nothing really, only whatever internal training that I had. And then the company was folding, and so was I. That was a moment I recognized that I had given myself over to this organization instead of being in charge of my own career. I was joined to that organization and now it was failing, and so was I. And so that moment was when I recognized that I needed to continue what I started in terms of my push for education. I really need to restore that push and push myself to go for it. You know, mathematics was a problem, it's also in the book, but there were other things that I could do. And so my never again was that I would never again find myself in a situation where I am dependent on an entity for my identity. My competences, my skills were my own, and I could use them anywhere I wish to, anywhere around the world. And subsequently, I've had the opportunity to do that, something which also came out in the book that I had the opportunity to work globally because I decided that never again I was going to pursue my education, and through that I was going to open up new doors, new opportunities, and make myself marketable.
Wow, boy, it's powerful. Yes, there is just much to be inspired by you and to be learned from your journey. So it is indeed very, very, also very touching. And one of the other reasons for me to, have chosen to read your book is specifically this keyword of purpose, actually. Yes. So all the others, I was very impressed by you telling your purpose-driven life too. So can you also introduce a little bit about your life-changing meeting with this book and your life
Yeah.
based on purpose afterwards?
I'm happy to. So, in 1996, I really discovered my purpose. I shared in the book how I was in a setting where we were asked, "Why are you here? What is your purpose?" And I could not answer that question. And it took a lot of time for me to think about it to realize that my purpose was to serve. But then I, growing professionally, my education is going well, and I was, in a relationship. It was a relationship. I was in a relationship, and again, I got comfortable. And even when I saw signs that it was not going to work, I was trying to make it work because we don't like those kind of changes. We don't want to. We're comfortable. It's our comfort zone, and we say, okay, I know it's false, and I know this, and I know that. But then he was the one who actually bought me that book. And I was going on a business trip, and I decided to read The Purpose Driven Life by Rick Warren. And that book changed my life. What it really did was redirect me to the commitment I'd made to myself, that it's not just about your career, Desiree, it's also about your life. Do not hang your hat with anyone. If it's not working out, it's not working out. And so I was able to extricate myself, to take myself out of that situation. And I am happier than I've ever been. And that's another thing. When you found your purpose, when you realize why you're here, to inspire other people. And then I recognized that I had influence, and there were people who were looking at me and maybe looking at my life and wondering what's going on. So I was not fulfilling that purpose to serve, because we serve intentionally and we serve vicariously. There are people who are just looking at us. We do not know who we're influencing. But there's a lot of people who sometimes walk up to me and say, "You do not know how much you influence me." And that's the time that I know that my life and my lifestyle and who I am is a message to so many people. And so I needed to be responsible. And so when I read the book, and it spoke about asking the same questions: why are you here? What can you do? What are you doing with your gifts and your competencies? What are you doing with your life? Are you pursuing the goals that you've set for yourself, as opposed to another? When you define yourself, do you define yourself as with somebody, or do you define yourself based on what is innate inside of you? Your knowledge, your skills, your competencies, your personality, all of that belongs to you. And I'm speaking to somebody. That's yours to do and to use in whatever way you want to. Never let someone determine the direction of your life. Well, maybe except God.
Oh, of course. Yes, I agree. Um,
Yes.
um, so it reminds me of the episode introduced in your book. So I believe it was at the airport, several years back, and
Mhm.
someone came up to you to thank you actually in person because he had a lot larger tax
Mhm.
refund, I believe,
Mhm. Mhm.
thanks to your caring, right? Nobody else would do the work and care all that much, but he really was thankful because that change happened thanks to your work. So even
Absolutely.
though when you were still working with the company as an employee, you were caring about the people, you had this heart to care enough, but at one point it also led you to start your own business, so you are not you're now working for your own, you're
I am.
self-employed, which is amazing. So how did your side job that started in 2015 become now a successful full-time consultancy? Can you introduce a little bit about that journey too?
Great question. And it is as a result of being a full-time consultant that I'm able to write my book. So when you're in charge of your own time, you can find time to do the things that you've always wanted to do. So I was sitting at my desk one afternoon when I got a call about doing a training with an entity right here in Jamaica. And I was not there when we won all the accolades, but I was now sitting in that chair. And I accepted. I was scared, but I accepted. And so I started to do public speaking, making presentations to middle managers. And out of that encounter, after I've trained people, they would take my number and then they started calling me to say, our organization is going through this HR matter and that HR matter. We need someone to review this. We need someone to coach our HR leaders. And that's how my consultancy started. And what I did it the right way. And I encourage everyone who's going to do something. If you're working with an organization and you're required to disclose what you're doing, do it the right way. So I did. I did my disclosure and I got approval to go ahead and pursue my consultancy. And some of the things that I did that I'm very proud of, I got my own computer, I got my own phone, and if I had to go somewhere during the week to do a presentation, I took a vacation day, not a department day. I didn't call in sick. I took a vacation day so that I felt that I was doing the right thing. I knew I was doing the right thing. And so my consultancy grew. And when the third redundancy came, this is the third time my job was being eliminated. I knew that was the plan all along, that I was going to expand that consultancy because I started in 2015, I think, and it never stopped. People are always calling. And so now that I'm on my own, it's the same. I am very, very busy and I'm thankful for the start. Again, if I did not educate myself, I would not find myself in that job where the opportunity was open to me to make presentations and to be a public speaker. And as a result of that, I became a consultant. And having become a part-time consultant, I had enough clientele and enough demand so that I can own my career today. That's what I'm talking about. When you find your purpose and you pursue it, opportunities open up for you.
Wow, yes. It is really inspirational in that, many people in this era, you know, strives to be in your position, to be self-employed as a successful, um, as a successful business person and also in your own field as a
Yeah.
professional. So one of the things I really like is you kind of brought all the years experiences you had from all the other companies, and then now you are there to share that experience and also the knowledge for
Mhm.
the past several decades, which is
Indeed.
something else to help others, right? So this is already my last question. So how do you see yourself continue to impact yourself? I am pretty sure I'll see you someday on TED Talk, but how will you continue to impact the world and create a unique legacy of yours? And what do you want people to learn from this beautiful book again?
Okay, right. So
Yeah.
I'm going to start with the book because that book was in furtherance of sharing my story, sharing my experiences, letting the world know who I am. I have ambitions, yes, to do that TED Talk, and I know the time will come when I do it. I'm going through the process. I'm preparing myself, and in that book, is really a roadmap for how someone can make use of the opportunities. So it's not my opportunities, it's your opportunities. It's for you to be able to see things that now you consider trivial as opportunities for you to grow and realize your dreams. I had my book in a chronological order because I wanted to encourage people to go step by step. I wanted them to see that setbacks should not set you back. They should be learning experiences. I wanted people to understand that failure once, twice, three times means that you have something more to learn in order to master that. It doesn't mean that you are not able to get there. I said in the book, opportunities are looking for those who are looking for them. Opportunities are there. It's just for us to see beyond our space, and it comes down to mindset. So my goal, Jane, is to kind of use my mindset, that growth mindset, that go getter personality that I have. I do not fear failure. I do not fear anything. As long as I feel that I am competent to do something, I'm going to take it on. Even in my consultancy, sometimes I get a call, maybe somebody connects with me through my website and they ask me, can I do something? And it is something that I do not know much about, but now I have the time to do a course, to learn and then transfer that learning. I say yes, as long as I have time and space. And so, my encouragement, the reason why I know that what I'm doing now will work, both my public speaking, the book is going to enhance that for sure. Thank you so much for this publicity that you're also giving me. I want the world, I want people around the world to be inspired by my story, but not just my past, but my future. So when I go into organizations now as Legacy Human Resource Management, I do speak of my book because the first line in the introduction says, it's not what you know that matters. It's what you do with what you know. And in every single training that I go, I know somebody's going to tell me, Desireen, I already know. So I start by saying, I just wrote a book. It's called I've Got Shoes. It's my story. And one of the first things I have there is not what you know, it's what you do with what you know. So the reason why you're here, if you were doing everything with what you know, you would not be here. So the reason why you're here is for me to help you to use what you know to your advantage. And it works every single time. So I see my writing. I have another book that I'm writing, and that is about HR. That's my career. That is my passion. I love serving people. I love growing people. So the book is about growing people. My career, Legacy HRM, is about growing people. And it is not by accident that I use the word legacy. I am determined to build a lasting legacy by impacting people's lives in a positive way. I benefit, they benefit. The world becomes a better place because there are more competent and productive people. As I strive to help others, I have to be better myself. I can't stay where I am. So, continuous learning and just being brave to go for it. It's not perfect. There are two mistakes in my book. I know there are two typos, and and it's
That's not bad at
okay.
all.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm saying it to say to people, we tried very hard to get it perfect, but guess what?
Mm-hmm.
Have two typos. That's it. It's already
Mm-hmm.
there, right? The next time you try not to have any. So do not stop because it wasn't perfect. Do not
Mm-hmm.
strive for perfection. Strive for progress. There are too many people who are looking to be perfect, to do everything perfectly. It's not even possible to be perfect. So when you see yourself as a continuous learner and you understand that there are going to be things in this life that you cannot control, there are things that you can control. And if you focus on the things you can control, they will help you to mitigate the things that you cannot control. That is the legacy that I want to leave with everyone through my book and also through my work as a human resource consultant, public speaker, leadership coach. And that's what I want to be known for, as someone who served with dignity, who passed on the knowledge that I know in meaningful ways that people can have a better experience at work. And some people say, Desreen, I'm a better person at home as well. I celebrate that.
Wow, I really, really like the messages you shared with us there. Thank you so much. Um, Rather, should strive for progress than perfect to be perfect. I really like that. So thank you so much again for delivering this beautiful book. Will be read by many more people, I am pretty sure. And I will see you again on LinkedIn. Thank you so much for
Okay.
your time.
Thank you for your support, and for those who want to engage with me, I am Legacy HRM on all the platforms. I I am IVE on Twitter. That has to do with the shoes. I don't have many followers on Twitter, but on LinkedIn and on LinkedIn, I'm Desiree McFarlane, actually. So that's LinkedIn. But on Instagram, I'm Legacy HRM, and on Facebook as well. Thank you so much, Jane, for this opportunity. You're doing a wonderful job supporting us authors and professionals, and I wish you nothing but the best. It was nice meeting you and talking with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Lovely talking to you. All my best wishes. Thank you and talk to you again.
Alrighty, bye.